Hi, Mars Hill. I wanted to give you a quick update and let you know what God is doing in our midst. He seems to be opening a number of doors for us and giving us just a ton of favor and really blessing us so that we can be a blessing to our city. And we want to share some of that with you and ask you to be praying. As you know, a few months ago, I started meeting with some of the more influential churches in our city, in West Seattle, and sitting across from them and essentially just saying, listen, we love Christ and we love our city and we want to learn to love one another better so that Christ's promise in John 13, where he says that if we love one another as he has loved us, that the world will know that we're his disciples by our love for one another. And I've just been blown away by how gracious they've been and the ways in which they've welcomed me into a relationship with them, as well as even learning what they're doing at their church in ways that they're already caring for our city and the needs of our city. There's a lot that I'm learning from them, and we want to be a blessing to them. And so we started a group together called the West Seattle Church Collective. There's about 6 churches that are the core of that: Mars Hill, West Seattle, Holy Rosary, Our Lady Guadalupe, West Seattle Christian, Hope Lutheran, as well as Grace Church. And we've really gotten together as a core group to talk about not only how are we going to build a relationship with one another, but also how are we going to find those areas of brokenness in our city that we can serve not simply alone, but together. This has led us to start a once-a-month meeting to invite all the churches in West Seattle together into the dialogue. And I think about 12 to 15 different churches and organizations have been attending those the last few months. This has led us to some great opportunities with the Seahawks and Union Gospel Mission, Youth for Christ. We've met with some city councilmen as well as some neighborhood development leaders in West Seattle, and they've all shared just an enthusiasm for what we're doing and really just a desire to partner together with us, from doing things in White Center with the Seahawks to care for at-risk youth and mentoring, all the way to just a number of issues that Union Gospel Mission is serving and caring for in our city, from homelessness and poverty, as well as teaching, training, and mentoring from women that are in difficult situations through abuse to substance abuse that they are becoming freed from, and that Christ is being glorified in all of this work, as well as simple things like the log walk at the beginning of West Seattle when you drive in, and going down and serving that and cleaning that, to various pea patches that we're helping out with. I know Cliff Ellis is part of one of those in his own neighborhood, but we've been able to compile about 29 pages of service organizations in West Seattle that are already doing phenomenal work. And from that, we've reduced it down to about 20 to 30 different organizations that we feel like are going to be really, really easy ways for us to serve. And instead of asking you and your community groups to come up with 1,000 different creative ways to serve your neighborhood, we've been able to compile a list of different organizations that we're speaking with and meeting with that we think that you can connect with in your community groups. And then we're breaking them down by region so that the community groups in the North, East, South, and West region will be given a list of what those organizations are, from convalescent homes to elementary schools, as well as food banks, Westside Baby, homeless organizations and shelters, and a whole swath of different opportunities for us to just love tangibly our city and care for her in really, really simple and practical ways. And we hope that you join us in that great mission. Also, some of these have led up to even opening our church doors to do things like what we're discussing with Youth for Christ, which is to have a teen drop-in daily where kids from our city can come and hang out and just build fellowship that we can mentor and help them, as well as maybe even provide opportunity for tutoring after school and some educational issues that we can come alongside. And so we're going to need your help. We're going to need God to just really empower us by His Spirit to help us be courageous and to really be thinking of areas that we've been gifted and have experience and are even passionate about serving, and we want to intersect those gifts and passions and experience with the needs of our city so that our city sees a credible witness and that we really are living as a blessing to our city because we've been well blessed. We believe that this is the promise that God gave in Genesis 12 to Abram that extends all the way through God's covenant people today, that God chose to bless them so that through them He would bless the nations. And we believe that's the case for us, that God has loved us and saved us and given us His grace, has given us His own Son to reconcile us to Himself so that we might be agents of reconciliation between God and one another. And we want to just really be a church that doesn't just talk about mission as a notion and as an idea, but tangibly lives it out in very simple ways. And we think that these are some ways that you can help us. So please be praying for us. There's a lot, I know, but God has been good to bring us these opportunities, and we want to be wise as well. We know that not every single one of these opportunities are we going to be able to serve, but with that, along with some of the seasonal activities that we're doing, we have a summertime immersion that we're talking about doing with UGM, which is going to afford you opportunities to come alongside and serve for 3 or 4 days with them. Also, there's going to be, coming up in the fall, there's going to be a backpack and school supply drive where we're going to get together with organizations that can help us get discounts on backpacks and then fill those backpacks with the needs that kids have for schools, and then bless families that don't have the means to give their children what they need to get a good start at the beginning of the school year. And so with that, as well as different schools that Justin's been meeting with, we just met with Seattle Lutheran today, and Justin was able to just hear the needs of what's going on there and find ways that we can be teaching and doing some activities there, perhaps even after school. I know I've had a chance to preach at Seattle Lutheran High School a couple of times already. My daughter goes there. We've been well blessed by them, and we want to, in turn, serve and bless and care for them. So they need our help as well, and we want to ask that you'd consider any of these opportunities and just let us know if there's anything that you think sounds even remotely close to what God has gifted you to do and to have experience in. Please tell us. You can contact me, or you can look for the information in this post, which will be under the comment section. Looking forward to seeing what God's going to continue doing, and I'm really thankful for you responding these last few months as we see a number of people come to Christ and meet our Lord Jesus.